O divines, grant rest to these fallen ones. Will you say a prayer for those who have fallen behind the walls of Ranizah, the great school of blades? For the great sword disciples who have been reduced to mindless thralls? Ranizah was once one of the great sword schools, rivaled only by the Abbey of Blades. But a betrayer gained entry through deception and trickery. He turned the mighty sword disciples into thralls of the dread celestial serpent. The initiates of Ranizah proved their mastery by completing 5 increasingly arduous tests of strength and skill. I do not know how he did it, but the betrayer overcame the trials and killed Master Timon. I'd only finished the first trial when the betrayer struck, but it stands to reason that he's in the most secure part of the school, the cavern at the end of the final trial. You'll need to complete the trials in order to avenge us. Ask what you will. I'm still looking for answers myself. I had only passed the first trial when these troubles struck the school. I suppose that's the reason I was able to escape when the others were lost. The first trial is called the Trial of Fire. The initiate must find the tombs of the flame bearers and slay the gargoyles that guard them. Then, the flame bearers can light the braziers along the path to Ranizah. The flame bearers are the spirits of 3 previous masters of the school. So devoted were they to training future sword disciples, they bound their spirits here. Even in death, they teach new initiates the ways of the blade. The second trial is the arena, where the initiate sword disciple must survive the melee. I was about to start this trial when the trouble struck. I don't know much about the other trials, but the initiates carried books that tell of them. The books are conferred on completion of the first trial. The school had gone to chaos and ruin before I received mine. Divines, if only I could have done something. I keep thinking that I could have saved them had I been stronger. I know only the strange rumors I heard from the few initiates who had not yet turned by the time I entered. The betrayer was a member of the Scaled Court, a servant of the Celestial Serpent, who they say has appeared in Craglorn. So it's true? The Serpent does walk the face of Nirn? I can't begin to fathom the motivations of such a creature. But there's a legend that Ranizah's founder, his name long lost to history, dedicated it to the warrior constellation. Perhaps, like the Abbey of Blades, Ranizah is a place of secret arts, admitting only those brave enough and strong enough to gain entry. There are more myths than facts around it. Perhaps the Serpent simply wanted to eliminate potential opposition.
I carry the guiding flame. Take me to the braziers so I may light the way. Initiate, with this brazier, you have begun the trial of fire. With this trial, you will prove that you are worthy to study among the sword disciples. I carry the guiding flame. Take me to the braziers so I may light the way. The Sword Disciple must be focused, pure of will, and indomitable of spirit. The flames of the Trial of Fire represent these qualities, burning brightly and intensely on the path to Rani Za. I carry the guiding flame. Take me to the braziers so I may light the way. Just as a crucible burns away impurities, so the Trial of Fire eliminates those who are unworthy to enter Rani Za. The last brazier is lit. Khalid the Guardian awaits. Best him, and you will overcome the Trial of Fire.
Face me, Initiate. Prove your mettle in the Trial of Fire. Bested me and completed the Trial of Fire. Enter Rani Za, Initiate, and face the remaining trials.
Only the most skilled warriors earn the right to study under the Sword Disciples of Rani Za. The Trial of Fire is the test that separates the worthy from the unworthy. With its completion, you begin your first step into our school.
Who are you? How have you come to avenge us? You will find few allies here. Abelazar the Betrayer has turned all of the Sword Disciples into thralls. He would have turned me as well, if I had been less of a coward. When the Betrayer struck, the Sword Disciples held fast to their honor and took up their blades against him. For their efforts, they were turned into a mindless army. But I took the coward's way. I fell on my own blade rather than join a Belazar. He came among us as an initiate, seeking to master the trials and win the right to be called Sword Disciple. He was the best I'd ever seen. The way he moved with a blade, it was mesmerizing. But it was all a lie. His allegiance was to the Celestial Serpent, not to us. His mastery was deceptive magic, not skill. When he reached the end of the final trial, he murdered our master, and used foul magic to turn the Sword Disciples into thralls. There are 5 trials. You've completed the first by entering this place. Then there's the trial of the arena, the trial of the air, and the trial of martial knowledge. Then there is the final trial, the trial of the true path. A test of stamina and pacing. The easiest of the 3, if you have good allies by your side. The Arena Master is a spirit who has dwelt in this place since its founding. He wasn't affected by all of this. He'll tell you all you need to know. I never completed the Trial of Air. The other initiates told me of a hidden path across the tops of the school's buildings. It can only be seen when special sands are thrown upon it. Where the path leads, I can't say. On entering Rani Za, we were each given a book describing the trials. There's a place in the library for each of the books. As I understand it, only those who managed to acquire a complete set could complete the trial of martial knowledge. The thralls are neither living nor dead. They answer only to the Serpent's will. It's too late to save them, but you may give them rest by killing a Belazar and destroying his master, the Serpent.
The arena is open to challengers. Let the melee begin. If you wish to begin the trial, you merely need speak to me. You will only get one chance at this. Welcome to the arena of Rani Za, Initiate. This is a trial of stamina, strength, and teamwork. When you are ready to put your discipline to the test, give the command. Then I will commence the trial. Prepare yourself. Ready yourselves. The arena is a test of preparation and endurance.
I did not think any beating heart would ever undertake these trials again. And you say you have come to avenge us? I would help you if I could. If these arms were more flesh than spirit. If I could grip steel and strike at the betrayer. I was master of this school, its last as it came to pass. My blindness doomed us all. No one could have been as good as Abelazar appeared to be. I should have seen through his trickery. These trials were placed here centuries before us. The secrets of their workings are hidden even to the masters of the school. It was the founders. His name has been lost to history. By legend, he is Ranizah, the spirit of the blade. But no one knows who the man or woman was. Yet his legacy lives on in the trials, which function like clockwork, even now. After Abelazar murdered me, he cast a ritual on the Sword Disciples, turning them into thralls, neither living nor dead. I fear there is no hope of saving them, but you can give them rest by defeating Abelazar and destroying the one who sent him. The Celestial Serpent. Abelazar was a member of the Scaled Court, worshippers of the Serpent. They want only chaos for Tamriel. They saw the Sword Disciples as a threat to their plans, which is why they sent Abelazar into our midst to destroy us. Across Tamriel, there is a handful of schools devoted to the secret arts of the blade. Of those, the greatest are Ranizah and the Abbey of Blades. But there are others, secretive and hidden, that carry the tradition. Their locations are secret even to me. Each school has its own secret techniques to teach. The most dedicated blade master might spend a lifetime searching for each school. I have never heard of anyone mastering them all. a remarkable achievement. To see what is beyond seeing. A test of the Sword Disciples' faith. If only I had seen more clearly the snake that was among us. Abelazar bested the trial of air like it was nothing. Like he had been born a bird and had spent his whole life flying. We should have seen through him then. Yes. He reached the end of the final trial faster than any student I'd seen before. And when I conferred the name of Sword Disciple on him, he cut me down. I can still hear his laughter. It will burn in my ears for all eternity.
The books have been gathered, and the fires of knowledge shall melt away the barrier. Test your knowledge of the art of the blade against me, if you would continue to the trial below. Into the darkness, and may your faith guide your path.
The books were always intended to be about cooperation. You cannot truly learn to master the art of the blade without the help of others. Abelazar charmed us all and made us complicit in our own destruction. The path to the final trial lies below. You will need to find the true path through the darkness. It will lead you to Abelazar the Betrayer. If you would avenge us, this is the path you must take. It's called the Trial of the True Path. Ironic, then, that Abelazar the Betrayer waits on the other side. Ready yourself. If you have not completed the other trials, you will not be able to complete the Trial of the True Path. The mists that cover the path are deadly. The way through it only opens for those who have completed the trials.
Even now, there are those who dare to challenge me. Those who would set you free. Do not believe their lies. Theirs is a false freedom. The only true freedom lies in service to the Serpent. Can't defeat me. I am a servant of the Scaled Court, herald of the Celestial Serpent. This school belongs to him.
Rani Zah will no longer stand for this corruption. The school will protect those true to its cause.
You have bested the trials and defeated Abelazar. You have earned the name of Sword Disciple, a name I never expected to confer on anyone ever again. You have also freed those souls that have been trapped under the Scaled Court. For that, I cannot thank you enough. I never dreamed that our Avenger would arrive so soon. Thank you for defeating the Betrayer. There's no saving the Sword Disciples, but at least their spirits may find rest. Peace, yes. I don't know if I'll ever be at peace with what happened here. Like everyone, I was so enamored of Abelazar I never imagined what was to come. That is for you to decide. The school has many hidden trials beyond those you've completed. And those too can be undertaken if you wish. As for the other Sword Disciples, they will not reach their final rest until the Serpent himself is defeated.
You stand before me, not wounded and defeated, but proud and courageous. You... You stand before me, not wounded and defeated, but proud and courageous. You have overcome the trials, but what happened to the Betrayer? At last. Although it does not end the suffering of my fellow Sword Disciples, at least the Serpent's foul poison will spread no more. For my part, I will wait here until it is safe to enter, bury the dead, and see if I can carry on their legacy. The Sword Disciples are still enthralled to the Serpent. Anything you can do to put them to rest would ease my mind.